Hello, my name's Greg McEwen and I'd like to introduce you to my Phase 2 case study house. I've brought forward from my Phase 1 Village Community Hub the idea that all members of the community are valued equally and that the skills and experiences that they have to share are given and received in order to create a strong and resilient community that can withstand current social stresses and also adapt to new challenges that arise in the future. This idea, when related to a case study house, lends itself very much to the idea of multi-generational living. Through researching the idea of many generations living under the one roof, I came to the conclusion that whilst different generations can come together to share their own experiences and contribute to the well-being of the family, each demographic has its own space and needs its own privacy. And as such, I developed a series of zones within the house that each demographic can retreat to in order to preserve their own individuality. And also those zones connect with the shared spaces both horizontally and also vertically through the building, so that whilst in their own private space they can still be connected with that same shared idea of family. Not only did I want to create a connection between the private and shared spaces within the building, I also wanted to create a connection between the exterior spaces and the interior spaces. And the way I chose to do this was to create an internal atrium which allows the exterior, the gardening or crop growing as food production, to occur inside the building. This allows members of the family to garden or grow food as they so wish, if that's what they desire. Activities which would normally be restricted to external spaces such as gardening or food growing to occur inside the building. This can be done by parents, grandparents, teaching the younger generations the things that they've learned as children, and as such to continue the family cycle so that when those children grow up, they too can teach their children and so create a historical continuity within the family. While each demographic requires its own space, I decided against allocating specific locations for each generation. This was because the generations change over time. At one point we may have old people, they may pass away, we may have new children which require extra space, and so in order to accommodate this adaptability, I decided to create private spaces which I just simply called zones, so zone 1, 2, 3 and 4, and each zone is able to be used by whichever demographic it most suits. People who are mobility impaired or disabled would find it easier to use zones on the ground floors. People who are more robust could use the zones which are located on the first level. And it doesn't matter whether the person is old or young or whatever. It's simply the space that most suitably meets their requirements. The zones on the first level have been designed in such a way that they can be reproduced, and if absolutely necessary and space is required, these zones can be stacked on top of the previous zones, and there is space in the design that the stairwells can continue to be moved upward and create more space in a vertical direction. Multi-generational living is exactly that. It's a building that needs to exist for many generations as people come and go and as times change. And it's by using these adaptable and dynamic zones that I believe that such a building can and will last for a very long time and meet the needs of the occupants in the best manner possible. Thank you.